So when I told my Irish Republican mother that I had decided to move to a place called Queensland, she shook purple with Republican rage. It got worse still when I told her I'd decided to live in a place called Windsor, and she spluttered with Scottish shame. But the sucker punch, ladies and gentlemen, came when I told her I decided to work and dedicate my life in a hospital called the Prince Charles. So being the youngest of three, I had to justify all the things to my mum. So today, as I reflected on this on the beautiful island of Stradbroke with Mes Amis de France, it wasn't too hard looking at the dolphins, looking at the roos, and thinking of Glasgow in winter in social class 5. Literally, my house was down the road from Sick Boy and train spotting. So it wasn't too hard. That's a true story. Then I had to justify living in a place called Windsor. Now it's Brisbane, so anywhere you can get to stay, you just got to take it. So it was okay to do that. But then Prince Charles, she said, you can't do there, you're dreaming. And I told her my idea that working with a guy called John McCarthy, an outstanding clinician, I wanted to create a research group, not just for intensive care, but cardiology, critical care, because the patient doesn't really care where they're treated, whether Betty from Albany Creek is treated in the emergency department, in the cardiology department, the intensive care, or the cardiac surgical place. They just want to get better. And that's why we as a team work together, like the glorious Glasgow Celtic, the best football team in the land. And we're about to beat Hearts tonight. Say your prayers. So I had seen the differences when I was a trainee that people like David McGiffin, John McCarthy, and Andrew Galbraith created when they brought transplant to Queensland. I had witnessed the foresight of Wendy Strugnall, Richard Slaughter, and Darryl Burstow, the kind of people that made Queensland the envy of Australia and the world in terms of cardiac imaging. I had watched brilliant, dedicated scientists like Dr. Daniel Timms, who created the biomedical and dreamed so hard that despite the fact we couldn't get a grant for him, he slept in my office for 9 months, and I tell you, I don't think he showered once. But that's engineers from you, so anyone that's sitting beside Sean Gregory, I apologise for the stench. But his dream, sadly, was unmatched by the funding, so that this was so difficult. But also in other departments, the compassionate care that Ian Yang, Quan Fong, Peter Hopkins gave to patients with end-stage lung disease and brought them back from the dead. Night after night, I saw the compassionate caring, our nursing staff in the intensive care beyond Sue Bullock, some brilliant, brilliant people. And I saw the dreams of the 300 plus international trainees that have come to our research group, the critical care. Dr. Obonyo Nuchifatso, who's here somewhere tonight. Obonyo was voted the top African scientist under 40 in a continent of 1.5 billion people, and he chose Queensland, and he chose Prince Charles, and the reason he could be here was because of people like Steve Francier, Hornby, Chloe, and the rest. We had people like Silver Heinzer from Estonia, who went back and was voted the top scientist aged 26 in his entire country, and the reason he could do it and create change that makes a difference in the world was because of what this Prince Charles Foundation did. But I would try and imbue them with the words of the Welsh author T.E. Lawrence. And this is what research and passion is about, and this is what the foundation supports, and this is why Prince Charles is the best cardiothoracic hospital in this country. T.E. Lawrence, sorry, give me a round of applause. T.E. Lawrence talked about dreaming in the same way my mum did, but differently. And what he said was, some men and women dream but not equally those who dream by the night in the dusty recesses of their minds, wake in the day to find it was but vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men and women, for they may act their dreams with open eyes to make it possible. And again, that's what this foundation has allowed us to do, because this passion is exactly what sits at the heart of the men and women, clinicians, doctors, nurses, scientists, allied health, who work every day. Margie Morton's dad, when he started the foundation 40 years ago, said, "Our future depends on this." A brilliant man. And he was right, but I'd also go further. It's not just our future. It's not just our future that depends on it. It's our patients' future. And it's not just patients in Chermside. It's not just patients in Brisbane. It's not just patients in Australia, but it's patients globally. And it's not just this generation, but it's generations that have yet to be born that we will change the lives of. As the Irish hero James Connolly said, opportunity is there for those who seize them. But when we change opportunity into reality, we change the patient's life, as we've done with transplant, as Daniel's done with biomedical, as we've done with many, many other things. But again, to go from opportunity to reality takes something like the foundation, who work day and night to allow us to achieve those dreams. It's this kind of dream and this kind of passion that has allowed our group to take an idea from an animal lab into transplanted hearts, where we can normally only keep them alive for 4.5 hours, and we can perfuse them, and we have now doubled the length of time a heart can be transplantable. So when you look at the world today, it's pretty messed up. You've got Israel, you've got Russia, you've got Ukraine, you've got everything. But again, and I know Daniel works in the same world, you look at the news and you think, this place is a mess. But we have this ultimate privilege of working with organ donors who at their worst time of life are willing to give up their husband, their wife, their sons, their daughters' hearts, lungs, so that someone that they will never, ever meet will have a new life. And that inspires me, and that keeps me and my team going. But again, we can only keep going because of the foundation. So we're very proud to be here. We're so thankful for the foundation. We're so thankful for you, because without you, you're the petrol that keeps our engine going. And whilst my mum died a year or two ago, I think, despite the fact I came to a place called Queensland, despite my mum's skepticism, I think she would actually think what we've managed to achieve when we walk with our brave patients through their illness and try and assist them, when we do the compassion that we can with our patients, she would be more than happy. So as researchers, to finish, we're frequently told, no, that's not possible, as we were told with biomedical. But I will finish with the words of the great Scottish researcher, Muhammad Ali. Oh, he's totally Scottish. The word impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than explore the power they have to change. Impossible is not a fact. It's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration. It's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Ladies and gentlemen, impossible is nothing. Thank you.